Where the van is beautiful. Where your van will be if you're going up to Norway is beautiful. I think that's a bloody ISO container house. This is the area I've chosen, the bar I've chosen. Take care and don't you ever forget to buy by then. I'm so happy. My first clip was supposed to be, I planned it to be like, I'm on a bloody boat. But someone just came over again and praised the dog. Honestly, if you've not been to Sweden, I have never, ever, ever in my life, and this is someone who's been, you know, not everywhere on planet Earth, but a lot of bloody places. I reckon I've been to about 60 countries, 50, 60, something like that. I have never, ever been to a place this lovely, really, people-wise and view-wise, everything. Anyway, we're going to skip to me saying I'm on a boat. I just had to say that before I forgot. Lay down, boy. It's a bit bloody hot on here, if truth be told, but look at this. We're on a bloody boat, aren't we? This is Nordkoster. It says online a more so untouched nature reserve, if that's your cup of tea. I haven't got time for this today. We're going to a place called Eskenass, but a charming island nevertheless. That sail in was absolutely spectacular, you know. I know I say it all the time, but I do mean that. Spectacular, with a capital Acula. Hey! Do you know what I mean? Sweden, baby. Did you see that sign in that bar? No singing, no dancing, no swearing. I thought it was a joke. You know, like how they say, like, the dog doesn't bite, but the owner might. That's what I thought it was, and underneath it goes, this is a respectable place. They would have a massive, massive culture shock if they went to the UK or the Republic of Ireland, to be honest with you. Holy moly, last time I was there, someone basically just stood up, and you know, this caught me off guard, and these are very close to us, but yet it still caught me off guard, and started bellowing out tunes. Don't get me wrong, it was lovely, I was like, what? But it was just one of them. What? Imagine if these guys went over there. Holy moly, or Greece. Imagine going to a Greek wedding. And then next thing you know, there's a bloody plate winging towards your head. Honestly, I thought that was a joke. Oh my God, I've got off the boat early purely because guess who doesn't like it? You guessed right. The bloody dog doesn't like it, did he? So I've got off early. We have to walk 3.5k that way. But I'm guessing the view's not going to be bad. That being said, welcome to Langagarde. Probably should have got off at Eskenass to make it easy to say, but here we are. Let's have a bloody look at what we're going to get up to here then, shall we? I think I lied a little bit. A minor fib, if you will, because the views aren't great. Thank you. They're bloody brilliant. Look at it. Oh, this is like what you see on television. Yeah, here's a house we can all afford. This town or village or whatever you want to call it is like it is in the movies. Like a proper, I was going to say Norwegian, but we're still in Sweden. Reason being, I'll touch more on that in a moment. It's a Swedish beaut, this place. Swedish beaut. And it's how you picture like the Arctic bloody locals, like an Arctic local village. Sorry, I'm not explaining things correctly today. I'm excited. This is my cup of bloody tea. How can it not be? I need to have a gander, see how much these houses are. Like, really, they're bloody stunning. I mean, look at that. Look at that. The only, you know, and a little pickup point, minor, if you will. It's stunning. It's a 10 out of 10. Like, this is clear as day. However, the toilets, but as soon as you get off the boat, bearing in mind I had a coffee, didn't I? I broke my little diet thing because I needed to use the toilet, so I had a coffee. What happened about 3 minutes later, after I left? I needed a toilet, didn't I? I needed a little wee, didn't I? Oh, there's big old birds as well. You won't be able to see it, but I'll try. Da, 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 da. On that rock. The toilet you have to pay for the second you get off the thing, and guess what I haven't got? Any Swedish money. I've been carding it up. I don't recommend, because you get charged about 8 times for the same transaction. So I don't recommend that. How do I get out of here? Time will tell. This is how I messed it up. This is the path. This is the path. Come on, boy, let's try and survive this. So why am I still in Sweden? Because earlier on today, we had to get the little tapeworm thing, didn't we, for the dog? And remember what I said, you've got 120 hours up to 24 hours. That's your bracket after the tapeworm treatment. Look at this path. Right, I might have to get my abseiling kit out in a minute. 120 hours, i.e. 5 days, if you haven't got a calculator to hand, to 24, that's your window. If you don't meet that window, that's it, you're not getting in, they'll turn you back. They don't check every single dog, it says online, but it is better to be safe than sorry. Right, I want to go get my harness and my bloody carabiners out to survive this walk. You just chill for a minute, I'll be back in a sec. Look at this bloody place, honestly, look at this place. If you're wondering where I am, because I've said Ekenas or Eskenas, I can't remember what it's called. If you're wondering where I am, it's a collective, or whatever you want to call it, right? Tomato. It's called Costa. That's the name of the island, Costa. Northern, I keep saying northern Sweden, it's not northern Sweden at all. It's just south of Norway. This is the closest point where my van is, i.e. over the sea, the closest point to Norway where you can park. And I'll touch more on that, I'll show you exactly where that is later on. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't bloody remember. Are you loving it, boy? Apologies if you've got wind noise going on, but it is a little bit windy over here. He's loving it. I found a little beach. Dogs aren't allowed off anywhere, but you know, no one's here. The dog needs to stretch his legs, otherwise he'll turn into an old man quick, and no one's got time for that. No one. He just wants to chill a little bit, so I'll talk about the ferry then. Well, I was going to say, how do you get here? Clearly a ferry. It runs all day, and like I said, where the van is, i.e. if you're in a van, that's where your van will be as well, because it's like the last point before Norway. Does that look like I've got hair? I haven't shaved it. Doesn't matter why, because I'm living the dream, that's why. This is, like I said before, I genuinely believe travel, etc., like experiencing new people, new places, new towns, new everything, the way people make rice, those things, how you crawl out of depression. Like when I was in depression, it's still out, it doesn't go away. When I was in super bad depression, this is the only thing that helped, and that includes counsellors, psychiatrists, medicine. Yeah. None of it helped. I'm not saying those guys weren't good. I remember one, and I will name this one counsellor who I can't explain how much what I owe to her. Like, her name was Faye, and I will always I'll be forever grateful to that lady. But she was in the Navy. The Royal Gravy. But she was an absolute diamond, and out of the 3,500 counsellors and psychiatrists I've seen, she was the only one who knew what she was talking about, to be honest. Like, the only one. That aside, she left. I pulled the plug on the counselling because it wasn't working. And I mean, I gave it, I sat through 5 different sessions. EMDR, CBT, IFS, you've not even heard of that one, have you? And not bloody even horse whispering, equine therapy, like you name it, I gave it a shot, but it just wasn't working. Then I picked myself up a little bit, enough to go on that walk, that first walk, not by myself, with the dog, and that was it. I like a beep beep happened, beep beep beep. And I was like, there's a pulse in there. And then next thing you know, I was like, right, I'm buying a van now. So I did. and the rest is history. So what I was getting at was travelling, going out and about, new people, new places and whatnot. You know, the benefit, the things I can list off, you would take 4 days just to list them off. It's the only thing that helped me. And when I say, you know, I'm not saying mine was worse than yours. When I say I was bad, I was bad. Like, and if you can pick yourself up a little bit, even if you get a little beep beep from it, do it. Do it. Because you could be here in no time. Not digging at the bloody councillors and that, by the way, even though I do think they're robbing. Where the van is beautiful. Where your van will be, if you're going up to Norway, is beautiful. But it's much the same. This place, Costa, is a ferry ride away, and this is, without doubt, from what I've seen online, the go-to thing to do around that place. Again, I'll touch on where my Strangstad or something, that's where my van is. But I'm not 100% on that, so I'll double check later on when I get back and let you know. But this is the thing to do, if that makes sense. You don't just need to stay in a, oh, I've seen stuff like this before. It's different, but I've seen stuff like this before. You don't have to stay there all day waiting for your ferry, waiting for the tapeworm to kick in. You don't have to do it. Get yourself over here. You're bringing a tear to my eye, guys. Think about it. How does a counselling session go? How are you today? How did you feel about that? How did that make you feel? And so on. You. Why? I hear you ask. Because you only know you. Your mother knows you to a certain extent, and arguably the most on planet Earth out of anyone. You know, there are problems surrounding that sometimes, and I get that. Some people don't speak to their mother, but on paper and statistically, your mother's the person who knows you the most. That includes wives and husbands and whatnot. After that, you're the only one who truly knows you. You're the only one who truly knows what you're going through, what can help, what annoys you. You. And that's all they do. I'm not digging at them. They do fantastic work. I get that, you know. But it's, all they do is lure out the answers from you. You know how to lure the answers out. You know this. It's you. You think someone with the bloody qualification knows you better than yourself? Absolutely not. And also, they know that also. They know that also, hence why they ask you, how are you doing? How did that make you feel? And blah, 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 blah. Get that heartbeat going, that first beep, beep. I hope you know what I'm on about when I do that. The hospital machine. Get that first beat. Get it. Do what you claw, scratch, scream. Get that first beep and go and find yourself. You know the answer, and only you. I love you, counsellors. Before I feel a lawsuit coming on. Remember, whether you do or you don't, this is the result. This is the result. If you know someone who's struggling, and this is the last bit for this video of like a sort of heart to heart. We'll have fun after this. If you know someone's struggling, right, remind them that. Remind them there are people who love them. Remind them that's the end result. They can sit in their bedroom crying, and I done exactly that. There's a stage, right, and this is not a lot. This is on my bloody. I don't want to say the thing just in case I get a strike, but this is on my flife, right. I stayed downstairs for 2 years. 2 years because I didn't think I was worthy enough of a bed. Could you believe that? And there's still people doing that now. That's what I'm saying. Get them, find them, encourage them. Remember, the penny needs to drop with them. Such as, if you want to quit, the things that cost bloody £29 in shops now behind the till in the UK. Not here. They're 195 quid. The penny needs to drop. They will only quit if the penny's dropped. Simple as that. They will only pick themselves up once the penny's dropped. So what can you do? And this is a bit of a, you know, counselling thing. The only thing you can do is encourage, try and politely, safely persuade, remind them, and for God's sake, if you can, get a van. Did that rhyme? If you can, get a van. That frown will be turned upside down faster than you could say, or spell rather, Mississippi. I shouldn't have said spell, I can't spell that. Anyway, let's go and have fun. I'm getting chafed by flies here, you know. Come on, Bruce, this way. Just one annoying little bugger. If I catch you, I will eat you. And I don't eat meat. That's how serious I am about this. Oh, these cabins, these are people's houses. I'll just quickly show you there. They're bloody charming. I cannot believe that one I seen the other day was 10 Gs. I have phoned them up, you know. I've phoned them up trying to, not that I'm going back down there this time, but I've seen what I've needed to see to get some more details on that, but they didn't answer, kind of thing. So look, imagine living in places like that. Are you happy now? See, you brought us to a bloody dead end, haven't you? I told you it weren't the way. Come on then. Does anyone else's dog do that? Pretend to know where they're bloody going? Or just stop and just not move until you go that way? Obviously, you know what I mean. You can still bring him that way, but I'll give him more leniency now. A lot more, to be fair. My mum can't stand it. She's like, Kieran, you and that bloody dog. I'm like, me and the dog are just sat there like under the quilt. I'm like, me and that bloody dog. He gets away with blue burger, that dog. Yeah, he does. And he will. Best be careful, I say here, before I'm struck off the Christmas list. My God. After them 2 coffees I've had. Well, I'll say this and I'll leave it at that. I hope public urination in the woods isn't illegal out here. Because I'll be down about 9 grand at this point. Let's go and have a look down here. Look at all this. It's all stunning. This is like the same track, obviously, on the way to that Ekenas. Same track all the way down, the one that was cliffside a second ago. Like, we are as remote and as nature, like, you know, natural as it can get. Like, we're in the middle of nowhere. Come on and bloody, before you get back on your bloody leash, son. I think that's a bloody ISO container house. That's a good idea. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking of things on how to build the retreat when the time is right. I've got oh, there's no sugarcoating here. I've got a bag of turd on me, haven't I? ISO container, I think that's a good shout. My dream is to have it off grid. Because I believe the noise of life, the social medias, and you know, and it sounds a little bit contradictory as I'm on social media, but I'm just aware that's how you reach people. But I think the noise of that, the noise of social media, the negativity, not all the time, however, the majority of the time, you know, I'm sure we can agree on that, if not anything, nothing else, is just sometimes toxic. Sometimes very toxic, actually. Then you got the stresses of emails, then you got the stresses of work and people calling you and bloody whatever's been injected into food and whatnot. So the plan is to have a complete off-grid experience with safety comms, granted, but an off-grid experience purely because I believe, from my experience walking around, and what sort of helped me massively, to be honest, was just being out of touch from everything, growing your own stuff. That was a joke before the SWAT team come through my van window later. But like growing your own veg and food and whatnot, you know, and being surrounded by like-minded people doing the same, going through similar things. It might not be the same stuff, but similar, no doubt, and people at different stages of your journey as well. Yeah, so sort of self-policing, self-helping, that's the plan. But with like hardly any technology there, that's what I want. In the middle of nowhere, just to listen and find yourself, because you know the answer. Where the hell am I going here? Paradise? Am I lying? They haven't got cars either. All I've seen are these little buggy things around here. Not that you would, because like I said, if you Google the name of this island, we are literally in the middle of nowhere. So they've just got them little buggy things, which makes perfect sense. But the point I'm getting at is, look at these roads. Look at these roads. Compare that to ours. Pothole galore. These roads are functioning, working, and they're still bloody maintaining them. Here's like evidence of a pothole fix. There's none of that in the West Midlands, though, is there? None of that in the West Midlands. Oh God, it's just a completely different way of life. A completely different way of life. Now, these people up here, their earnings are quite a bit more than ours, but the cost of living's a little bit more expensive as well. Norway's just another level entirely. So they have got money, that's what I'm saying, the government. But so would we have, wouldn't we? Oh God. Kieran, don't start. But we would though, wouldn't we? Enough money to fix a bloody pothole. The longer I stay out of the UK, like the more I love it being out of the UK. Obviously I'll always love the UK, I'll always love England in particular, but you know, the others are very, very, very close to my heart. However, England's home, and I hope you understand that. I just wonder if you do understand it. It's home, alright? Home, and it always will be. That's where my people are, aren't they? And it will always be. But you got to admit, my God, how annoying is it there now? Not the people, it's the suits ruining it. That annoys me. I haven't seen evidence of one annoying person here in this entire country thus far. And they actually do what they say. Things work. There's toilets. Yeah, this is the one. I've seen one here that you have to pay for. But we are on an island in the middle of nowhere. We have had to get a ferry here and whatnot. But they put the money where the mouth is. They try and bloody give the people here a better way of life. And from what I've seen and from what I've heard when I was speaking to these people, they have. And there's no comparison there. Like, there isn't. Think about it. Just think about it. That's all you need to do. Don't listen to me. Listen to yourself. Are you really happy there? Like, really? From what you've seen here? Like, comparing this to that, I might move out, you know, like really. But then you're admitting defeat, aren't you? You're admitting defeat. You're taking their you're doing what they want you to do, which I haven't got time for either, to be honest, because it's a homeland, isn't it? But anyway, that side, that's getting a bit too serious. Let's go and have fun again. Oh, no idea what this is, but I absolutely, I can't say love again. I really like it. We're trying to find a shop. There is a shop here as well, but I dread to think the cost, because not only do they have to import stuff from everywhere, they have to import the import here. So I dread to think, but again, time will tell. This place is absolutely stunning. Ignore that right behind me, but look at it. Oh, I love it. My friends asked me, this was today, this was, earlier on, they asked me, they was like, what's Scandinavia like? And you know, I've been to Finland, but it was briefly. We went skiing in the Marines, but it was literally like a weekend thing, so I can't really comment on that. But from Norway, Sweden, granted, yeah, I forgot a little bit of Norway, because that was like, I think it was about 12 years ago I was there. I'll show you these sheep, these are calling me. I think it was about 12 years ago, and they're super friendly. Scandinavia, it has got to be in the running for the best place on earth. I mean, and I honestly mean that as well. That's not a social media thing. Scandinavia has got to be in the running for the best place on planet Earth. All of them. I've been to Denmark. It was lovely. You know, it was lovely. And you think, can't get any better, can it? Surely it can't get any better. Sweden, it got better. Norway is much the same, and again, this is going off my memory. Finland, I was only there for a weekend sort of thing, and the other one, the fifth, and Elfanel, what everyone forgets about, is Iceland. That's in Scandinavia as well. Did you know that? No, you didn't. That's why you're here, because every now and then I've got a little random fact. Like earlier on, here's a little random fact you weren't aware of before. Did you know? And the reason why I remembered this is because I was on that ferry and I seen the Swedish flag on the back. Did you know you can't do that in the UK? Did you know that? Did you know it's illegal in the UK to have the Union flag or the flag union dangling, or the Union Jack, more commonly known, but incorrect, the flag union? It's illegal on a boat unless it's a navy vessel, unless it's been signed off by the monarch, or unless it's a government official thing. You are not allowed a Union Jack, we'll keep it simple for the majority, on your boat as the main thing. You're allowed them as like a decoration, but it has to be smaller than your main flag on the boat, unless it's the Royal Navy, unless it's been signed off specifically or something to do with the monarch at the time. You know, we've had one for 500 years, and the next thing you know, we're getting like bloody, they keep coming everywhere, don't they? Right. Now back to Scandinavia. See how I've turned my cap round? So you think it's a completely different scene an hour later from when I was last talking. But it wasn't. That was by that big tree above my head. Oi oi! Scandinavia. The way to describe it, if you are like me, and don't mind a fly every now and then. See you soon, little one. Scandinavia. Scandinavia, the best way to describe it. If you are like me, you like the outdoors, you like, you know, not a threat whilst walking around. The amount of time I have left my phone and this, bearing in mind this is like I think it's gone up to about 800 quid now, this camera. I think there's a shortage of them or something. But it's gone up in value, and that's just the camera. I bought the bloody, what do they call it, the influencer pack or something, with a mic and all that sort of stuff, the spare battery and the tripod and all that sort of stuff. I left my phone, I left this numerous times on purpose, just to see. Not what people will look, and then that's it. Imagine that in the West Midlands, like really, imagine it. The best way to describe it, if you're like me, and the chances are if you're watching this you are, is heaven. It's heaven on earth, really. Again, not a social media thing, I'm being legit. This is heaven. And if when the time's right for me to set up shop and stay in bricks and mortar, like I've said previously, this is a real contender, really. Like, no jokes, that's it. To say we're in the middle of nowhere as well, this shop has got bloody everything. I don't want to be one of them to record and stuff, it's not my business, but do you know what I mean? For example, of the import on top of an import, that was £2.40. You have got a little bit of a spare money today for today's budget kind of thing. That I don't like using it all the time, like all of it. But I want to see, and this will be an extreme example, and I won't be doing this again. I'm gonna have one cheeky little pint. Let's see how much that is. And there's a football team. That thing I showed you earlier on, the Copa whatever, they have a football competition amongst these islands, and these guys seem to be the champions. Don't you just love that? And there's a gym up there as well. I'm getting terrored by these flies. They're following me. I must stink. Otherwise, these guys might all be reptilians and I'm the only one with human flesh around here. This is the area I've chosen, the bar I've chosen. I'll let you know what it's like. 2 sec. It's just a normal beer, right? Well, I don't drink, bear that in mind. What's it taste like? It rhymes with hit. It's just a normal beer. It's better than the old Flarling and Flalsnurg. But it tastes like a Floroni, sort of like that sort of quality. So quite nice, but for £9.50, oh come on. I don't drink normally. So I'm gonna be on my hoop after this, believe that or not. Brucey said 1 turned into 3, and I don't know what I was thinking, because I don't drink. I really don't drink. I'm more swaying towards the Snoop side of things, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I hope not anyway. So we're going back to Stromstad now, Stromstad or something. But genuinely, like honestly, I know I really am Tipsburgs at the moment. Genuinely, this place is a must-do. Like if you are in this area, this place is a must-do. I've just been speaking to some locals there who were talking about it didn't nearly turn into an argument, but the way he was talking, it sounded like it would have been, if you didn't know what we were talking about, it would have sounded like from a distance that we were on the verge of arguing. He was saying about ice hockey being a massive thing out here. I didn't know that. Here we go. That's another thing about travel and things like that. You learn different things. Ice hockey is massive. And I said, compared to the US. He said, yeah, compared to the US and Canada, again language barrier, so I don't know 100% if he knew exactly what I was talking about. He said they're third, Sweden's third. Would he say that because he's from here? I don't know, but regardless, that's how beautiful it is. I need to show this fucking view, don't I? Oh God, Kieran, alcohol doesn't suit you. I'm more of a snoot kind of gal, if you know what I mean. But we can't do that in Scandinavia, and I will touch more on that tomorrow when we enter Norway. When we wake up at like 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm 3 pints in. 3 pints. You haven't got the heart of the ocean, boy. What are you doing? Look at that. Look at it. And look at that. You beautiful boy. You know what I mean? This is stunning. This whole town, this whole area, this whole island. You know what? I'm going to say it. This whole country. And I've just said to that guy there who was talking about the Swedish like ice hockey and whatnot. And he was like, yeah, compared to the US / the Canadians, we're third in the roster, like, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, fair play. I didn't say that because that's cheesy, and cheesy stick on the cheese twist. But I said, fair enough, like, kind of thing. Something again I didn't know, and something again I wouldn't have known unless I bumped into them. How many more hints do you need, guys? How many more hints do you bloody need? Do you know what I mean? Before you take action, like, you need to like venture out and meet people to learn these things. Bruce, don't worry, it's not an iceberg, son. He's flapping. But we locked in a little gazebo at the moment, going to Strandstad or something. You know what, I'll correct myself before I completely make a tit at myself. Stromstad. STRO, dots above the O, MSTAD. Stromstad. Love that, don't you? Then say hello to the bloody cab. I'm letting him trot around. We're in a little cabin thing, look, on the top of the boat. I will say this, I'm not schnunkbergs. I will say this, I am devastated I have to leave Sweden tomorrow. And I don't have to, I can stay here for the remainder of my journey and then simply go back through Denmark, Germany and whatnot. But I never thought I'd ever hear anyone saying this before. I'm gutted. I have to visit Norway. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I really don't. This place is stunning beyond. I mean, to be fair here, the camera looks a little bit better than real life, but it's not far off. And that's me being brutally honest with you at the moment. This place is where I am genuinely considering setting up shop. Genuinely. Once I finish my task. Yeah, like I was saying, he's settled down a little bit now, his ears are a bit pointy kind of thing, but I'm genuinely gutted I have to leave Sweden tomorrow to go into Norway. But to get into Norway means one thing, doesn't it? I'm going to tick off yet another country for the dog, and that's what my submission is in the social media thing. You know, like, first thing is the mental health treatment, full stop, bang, bosh, bosh. The next thing is to get the dog to 45 countries. That's my plan, and that's hopefully what I'm going to do. He's on, once tomorrow's done and we get into Norway, we're at country 13 with the dog. 14 with Sweden, 15 with Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. But it doesn't matter. Why? Because I'm in Sweden, baby. I never thought I'd ever hear anyone saying that. They're devastated to leave Sweden to go to Norway, or devastated to enter Norway. Norway's another butte on top of yet another butte, essentially. I never thought I'd ever hear of anyone saying they were devastated to enter Norway, yet here I am. Sweden is where I would genuinely consider setting up shop. Truthfully, it is the most picturesque, beautiful, welcoming, I don't know how else to say it. Whoever you are, the opposite sex are banging. We'll just say that, you know, that's the truth. It is. The veg, the potatoes, the carrots, the whatnot, is not. And this is again from myself just walking around. It isn't like super taxed. It's cheaper. Hence why everyone is healthy. Everyone is chiseled. Everyone is happy. And you got to think to yourself, why? Why is that? Is that because of the negator GMOs, etc.? Sorry, it's how I talk to my mother, and I've just been on the phone to her, hence why I'm probably, that was my knee by the way. Remember my stinking dirty knee from the other day? Basically the same price as the UK. Fuel included in that as well. I'm not spending a penny in Norway because it gets even steeper up there. You're venturing into Arctic Circle territory up there, which is a big no-no because then you've got veg. They can't grow anything up there because they genuinely are in the Arctic Circle, right? So everything's imported, so you add a zero on to the cost of everything. You want to buy a Mars bar, you're refinancing your great auntie's bloody teeth to do that. You know, you can't just buy a Mars bar. Like, it's scandalous. It's no longer in the realms of £1.50. You're in the realms of Virgin on £4, £3.50, £4. That's the truth of the matter, because everything's imported. They can't grow anything there. But I absolutely love Sweden. This place is borderline, like, again, average, medium, happy medium, median. The same as the UK. Same as the UK. Price-wise. Cabin-wise, a lot cheaper. That must be said. A lot cheaper. And it is beautiful. The people, the accent, the way of living, the freedom, the social gatherings, the smiling, genuinely meaning it when they say hello and whatnot. It is honestly a breath of fresh air. And if you haven't been here and you go to Lanzarote, you go to Tenerife, you go to Ibiza, you go to all these places that don't want you there, by the way, you know, they don't like disrespectful tourists, and they sort of, at the moment, are tarring everyone with the same brush. Naughty, but also true at the same time. They don't want you there. In the meantime, until Spain, for example, forgives us, not me, I'm a good citizen. And I'm sure you are as well. But until they do forgive us and reopen the gates and whatnot of Spanish society, for example, use this as the perfect opportunity to come here. Anyway, you little slapheads. Team Slaphead. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed recording it. I was supposed to show you the town, Strandstad or whatever it's called, but I've got enough footage here. Like, this place is bloody fantastic, and I do mean that. I hope you've enjoyed that, and a different take on what you can and can't do, and you know, you don't have to stay in the car park and wait for the bridge crossing the next day if you've got a dog, for example. You can truly venture bloody out and go and see the best the world has to offer, and you can quote me on that. Anyway, you absolute heroes. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed recording it. And for now, take care, and don't you ever forget to bye-bye then. So happy.